Welcome back. This is Nick Agram. In this series of videos, I will be discussing factoring based on grade 8 book of the issued book by the Department of Education, the Philippines. Factoring is multiplication in reverse. For example, I want to multiply 3 and 2, for example, and that is 6. You can see that 3 and 2 are called factors of 6. So yeah, if I have 18, then I have the factors of that is either 18 times 1, and then we have the 6 times 3. Oh, sorry for that. And then we have the 2 times 3 times 3. Those are the factors, different factors. Why I am discussing this, the factors, is that when we're going to the common monomial factor, it is important that you know all the factors, the idea of factoring. But before I go to the common monomial factor, I will discuss first common factor. Common factor, if I have two numbers, for example, I will have 4 and 6. Then I will factor 4 by 4 and 1. Sorry for that. I don't know if you're familiar with this. 4 and 1. And then we have 2 and 2. 6 is 6 and 1, of course. And 3 and 2. As you can see, I can find 2 in 4. And I can find 2 also in 6. Then I have common factor is 2. Common factor between 4 and 6 is 2. Let's try more. If we have 18 and 12. 18 and 12 we already discussed there. We have 2 times 3 times 3. If you remember your factor 3, then it is very good. And then we have 2 times 3 times 2 again. Then as you can see, we have 2 and 3 there. I have 2 and 3 there. So the common factor between 12 and 18 is 6, which is 2 times 3. Now we're going to the next, to the topic that we want to discuss now. It is the common monomial factor. Oh, it wasn't good. I will remove this. Okay. So for example, I have a product, a binomial right now for x. This is a product, and we have 12x. There's another product, but they consist of 2 terms, then it is a binomial. What I want to do is I want to factor 4x. I want to factor 4x square, and that is 2 times 2 times x times x. And then 12x is 2 times 2 times 3 times x. If you use parentheses, then it's all right. I am using now this notation. Here is a multiplication notation also. Okay, that means my common factor is, I have 2 there, I have 2 there, and I have x there. So my common factor is 4x. That 4x will stand alone, and I have a parenthesis. So what is left in 4x squared is just the x. And what is remain in 12x is just 3. As you can see now, if I will check my answer, I will multiply 4x and x, that is 4x squared, and 4x times 3 is 12x, or negative 3 is negative 12x. Some more. We have 9m squared minus 16. No, sorry. (27) m cubed, for example. Then we have 9m squared is, the factor is 3 times 3 times m times m. And 27 m raised to the 3 raised to 3 is 3 times 3 times 3 times m times m times m. Then, as you can see, we have 3 as a common factor, and another 3, and we have m, and we have m. If we multiply that, it is 9m squared. As you can see now, there is no one left in 9m squared, but if I am going to multiply this by 1, you can see that the product is always the same. What is remains now is 1. And then we have 3 that is remain in 27, and we have m, that is minus 3m. Let's try some more. We have 16x plus 4y minus 12 zeta z. 16x is 4 times 4 times x. If you go to prime factorization, then it will look like this: 2 times 2 times 2 is 2 times x. That's prime factorization. I'm not going to discuss that. I hope you learned that in other year. I hope you learned that in grade 6. For y is, I will do the prime factorization instead. 2 times 2y. For 12 zeta, then we have 2 times 2 times 3 times zeta. And as you can see, we have 4 as a common factor, greatest common factor. We have 4. Then we have, for the first is 4x. For the second term is just y. For the third term is negative 3, say. that's it. I hope you learned something. It slipped in my mind that I need to discuss greatest common factor, but in a way I discuss common factor. For example, between 4 and 12, there are other factors. There are two as a factor, but the greatest common factor is 4. That's why we use that. In 9 and 27, you have 3 as a common factor, as you can see there, but we took 9 because it is the greatest common factor. So when you are factoring, always take the greatest common factor. I ask for sorry for that, because it slipped in my mind that I didn't discuss it first. But I hope you learned something from this video.